Okay, hi YouTube. Today we'll be looking at how we can make a login script using Python 3.4. For this you will need to know quite a little bit about Python, including the open command and how to define function and how to read and write documents. So basically we start off with defining a function called startup. And what we do is we will open a document and open it as writing. So if we haven't created it already, we will then write it as, we will write inside the document admin : password. And then what we then do is we create it as a readable, we make it into a readable document. And just so we know when it's done, we print admin username and password has been set, and then we're going to the next function, which we've defined as home. And then what home does is it will print, do you want to create a new user which will be a guest, or log in? And we ask for input, and if the user says login, it will go to the login function. Else, if we type in new user, it will go into new user maker, which we've defined as a function. And otherwise, it'll just say, sorry, that was not a valid option, please try again. And we'll go into the home function and just keep cycling until you enter it correctly. So we'll start off with the new user maker. So this, we've defined the function new user maker, and we've told it to print what username do you want, and we then input the username. And as soon as we've entered our username, we will print what do you want as a password. And we will be storing these variables as we go, as new guest user and new guest password. Again, we will store the password when we input it, and then what we will then do is we will open another document. This time we'll be opening it as a database instead of a .text, for reasons I'll explain later in the video. And we're going to write a new document. W is just a variable. .write, and we'll name, we've already named it up here as the new guest username will be the name of the document. .database, and that's just how we're creating it, so as a writable file. So we will then write in this file the username and space : space, and then the password. So it will appear basically as this inside the document, and that'll be all it is. And that is how we've created a new guest user. And then it'll automatically cycle into the login after you've created your new user, and then it'll say you will now log in, and it will then print, are you an admin or a guest? Now an admin will be able to do whatever he wants if you allow him to, and then after it asks you what you are, admin or a guest, you will be asked to input whether you're an admin or a guest. If you choose admin, it will go into the admin login section, which we have defined. If we type in guest, it will go into the guest login section, which is just further down. And if we fail to spell or do not enter either, it will print, this is not a valid option, please specify admin or guest, and go back in. Okay. And so the admin login section is different to the guest login section for reasons which I'm about to explain. But first, it prints you choose to be an admin. And then it will ask you please input your username, and it'll set up the admin name. I don't think I need this anymore because I had functions. I had made this a couple of times, but I don't believe I need this anymore. Just get rid of that, and that should be fine. Okay. Okay, where were we? So it asks you to enter your username and your admin name rather, and it will say please input your username. And as soon as you entered your username, it will say please input your password, and it will store these two variables, username and password, and then it will try and open the file name, which will be admin underscore name dot txt, which again is stored up here. So the username is just admin and password is just simply password. And it will try and find the file admin.txt, and if it finds it, it will try and open it, and it will save whatever's in the file as a variable, which I've named checking user and pass, and admin correct is another variable, and it is exactly the same as checking user pass.read, username and pass.read. Basically this line of variable makes it a little bit tidier and makes it about 3 lines shorter. And if admin.correct is exactly the same as the username you've entered and space colon space admin password which you've entered, it will print you are now logged in as an admin. Now you can enter in here whatever you want the admin to be able to do, but at this stage this is just the basic login script. If the username and password is incorrect, so admin correct does not equal admin name and admin password, therefore it will be incorrect, it will print incorrect username or password. Do you want to try again or log in as a different user? Now for some reason I haven't quite worked it out, but I must put in this code twice, which is exactly the same. I was fiddling around with it earlier and I couldn't figure it out. But otherwise, do you want to try again or log in as a different user? And it will create a new variable called option, and it'll be input. And you'll input whether you want to try again or log in. And if option equals try again, we'll try and log in using the admin login again. Otherwise, it will just go into the login section, which is down here. So I'm not sure why I've had to repeat this code in the accept, but I will get around to figuring that out and try and shorten this code for you. But otherwise, I will be uploading this if you wish to download it and use it for your own purposes. But anyway, carrying on. So if you do not enter try again, it'll just go into the login section and it will ask you again whether you would like to log in as a guest or an admin. And if you enter guest, we will go down to the guest login. It will print you choose to be a guest, and please input your username. And again, I do not need these globals. I don't think. So I'll just get rid of these for now. I don't need that. Okay. So if you choose to be a guest, it will print you choose to be a guest. Please input your username. And so you'll enter your name, and again input your password. It will ask you to input your password, and it will search for the file as a database. Now, I said I would explain it. Basically, the admin is the only one stored as a .text. So therefore, if you try to log in as an admin but use a guest username and password, but everyone was stored as a .text, it would allow you. But if you store it as a database instead, it cannot open that when it's only told to open a .text. So that is why we are using the database for the guests and the .text for the admins, just to keep them separate, and it makes it a lot easier, and again shortens a lot of code. So then with that, we're going to open the file name equals guestname.database. So it would be, if you said your username was guest, it would be guest.db. So file name would be guest.db, and it will be opening it as a readable file, and it will save everything in that file to checking username and password, or user and pass. And if guest is correct, guest correct stands for checking username and password.read, which again just shortens it down a little bit more, makes it tidier. And if guest correct is equal to the guest name plus the plus space colon space guest password, it will print you are now logged in as a guest name. And here you would put what you want the guest to be able to do, which you can make a function and go from there. But if it's incorrect, it will then print incorrect username or password. Do you want to try again or log in as a different user? Same thing as earlier up here. I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same. And that's basically it. So then once you've defined all that, you just have to put your startup down here, and that is all you have to do. Quite a complex code, but it is relatively simple. Excuse my grammar, but yes, that is basically the only way I can describe it. I'll be uploading this soon. It'll be in the description, and thank you for watching my video. Enjoy the script.